Is 5:36, and I'd like to call to order the roll call. Administrative Assistant, will you please do that?
Dolphin. Via. Dutiel.
Here.
Scudder. Hocker. Here. Badla. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Sure, I'll make the motion to approve the agenda of Thursday, July 11th.
And I will second that. Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
So,
Man.
yeah, we need to
Oh,
remember to
sorry.
do that.
Shelby.
So, is that for skating too? I mean, not, skating, roller skating, bicycles and walking, or just bicycles?
Bicycles, scooters, and
Mhm.
skateboards.
Skateboards, okay,
Yeah.
no roller skates.
You could,
Mhm.
yeah.
So then, if there are issues, is there an age that kids can get on it or no age?
No, this is designed for all ages.
It's all
I mean, adults
ages.
too. Like, I think,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
I-
then,
I'm gonna have fun.
oh yeah, I'm gonna try it. So safety,
Yeah, we did get some rental bike helmets,
Oh, good.
or skate helmets, bike helmets. And then if it does come in for progress days, we'll require helmets.
you could
Uh,
put that in my front yard.
Yeah.
It would fit.
Deal. Um,
I was gonna ask one
Yeah.
quick question about Parker Park
Yep.
and Progress Day. Did you mention where people are able to park for that? Like, can they park at the church and at the senior center? I mean, they're gonna be, otherwise,
it's
there's
gonna
gonna be people all over.
Yeah,
the place.
exactly. The chamber is doing a lot of marketing on that, and they are reaching out to the borough building, the school district for Soldotna Elementary School, the Catholic church around the corner, as sort of the main hubs for people driving in. So they should be on their marketing.
So
Okay.
just go on, just,
No, I was just gonna say thank
before
you.
we go on to the next section, are there any questions on any of the things that Joel has gone over? Mr. Todd, excuse me, has gone over to, as of yet? I have a couple, but I'd prefer board members to go first.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, we haven't gone down the rabbit hole, but there could be an option where we could rent this out to a user group too. Like say a church was doing a week-long camp in the summer. Um, we could rent it out. Some companies just, that's all they do is they rent these out. They show up at, skate festivals or snowboard competition or, the state fair, and set it up for the week. I don't know if we'll go that far right away, but it's something we could look at later. It's like indestructible material with some like marine grade wood on there too, and the corners are steel framed, so they'll survive for quite a while.
Anybody else? I have just a couple, so thank you for that. That was a concern I have. If you rent it out, how do you ensure that it stays in good shape? The stream bank hiring, will they be doing more of that in the future? Not this year probably, but next year maybe, over in Centennial and other places?
Like that project that we were working
Yeah,
on? Nope, that was just a one time project.
okay.
There's plenty of other areas in our park system that need it. Rotary Park is getting pretty bad, and we'll need to do some work in there in the next 3 to 4 years.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
nothing major.
Oh, okay, thank you. And well, you already answered the question on the parking, but the events that are in the park, like Idea Homeschool and the Kenai River Fairs, are those paid events? Do they rent the park?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I thought they did, but I thought maybe, I don't know.
The only
Um,
events that we partner as a city, and work with, and there's no fee, is the Kenai River Festival
mhm,
and Progress Days, are the two events that
okay,
just historically the city has always been a partner with, and
So-
then Frozen River Fest in the winter.
okay, yeah,
But normally Progress or Chamber of Commerce events that's all part of the same family.
okay. And then the music in the park, how much longer is our schedule with Levitt?
I think this is
206?
year one of a 3-year grant.
So this is so it is
Yeah,
206
so I
then.
think we have 2 more full summers of Levitt funding.
So my question is then, if we only have 2 more, and I mean, we could try to ask for if they would continue it, because we're a small community. But are there other avenues we could use to, if that's not a possibility, to look to approach? Because that's pretty expensive getting those bands here, but it sure draws the people down here. And a lot of them are local, but it is nice to have people from Anchorage or even outside. I think we had a few people during the Salmon Fest. They came up on a Wednesday night, so,
Yeah, as far as, and I won't speak for the chamber because it's their event. But I do know that they're actively, coming with a game plan. I also heard that the Levitt Foundation is whatever going away. It's kind of spending its money and it's going to dissolve in the
Mary
next
died.
in the next few
I think it's
years.
Mary Levitt. She passed
Yeah.
away just recently.
And
So
so
I was gonna
I think the
finish
plan
that.
is to, within the next few years, the whole foundation will move on. And so the chamber has plans, and obviously they do a lot of fundraising, and there's a lot of local sponsorship that also goes into funding that, not just the Levitt Foundation goes into paying for that event. But yeah, I think there's probably plenty of ways to maybe downsize it a little bit and still make it happen,
Okay, thank you very much.
The last one isn't, I just want to remind you that this project that we got grant funded, or an ATAP grant for 5 years ago, I think,
Mhm.
went out to bid, and the bids came back, and there is one company that bid on the project, and it's I think it's the right price. They haven't signed paperwork, and then Kyle was out today, so I didn't get a confirmation, but we are like steps away from this project, and this would happen this year. Yeah, so this is the paving of, if you scroll down through the pictures, Shelby, keep going. So right there, so the dotted lines would be paved. That's the walking paths. And then there would be a new trail that would leave from, so the top right, and the bathroom area that will cross over the driveway to the watershed forum and then cut through those woods, and go ahead and scroll down a little bit. That's just pretty pictures of the park. Keep going. Yeah, so here's the new trail. This will be also paved with lights. Correct. Yep. Yeah. It's from the original.
Isn't that 1980?
And then if you go down, so once it takes that corner next to the brewery, then it goes from a paved path. Keep going down a little bit. There. Once it gets to Homestead, then it turns into sidewalks on both sides. So you'll be able to walk.
The red area?
The red area is an existing trail.
Oh, there, okay,
Yeah.
I see.
So in front of the bookstore and the brewery, and
Near
then
Walgreens. yeah.
next to Walgreens will be sidewalks. So you'll be able to walk, off out of the traffic from the bookstore all the way to the park now. And technically, if you take the boardwalks, now you're getting all the way to the other side of Aspen Hotel, off trail or off road, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
So very excited that this is slowly happening. Construction, the timeline that we proposed was, you guys can do the trails and the sidewalks whenever you want, but you can't do inside the park until September. So we've
Thi-
already,
This September?
correct. Yeah. So we want to get through music season. We got a couple events in early September, and then hopefully they would be able to get some paving done before it freezes. So again, I think we're like right at the finish line. I can't say with 100% because it's not my project. But I think we're there. The fact that it went to bids are back. gives me a good hope.
So are there any questions? We finished? Are there any questions? What's the red area? Is that the road into Swiftwater?
Nope, that is a very, very old homestead road into the Mullins property. There is a footbridge that crosses the Soldotna Creek right there. It used to be their driveway access way back in the day. And I believe Lingonberry didn't go all the way over to Swiftwater back in the day. I think that's a fairly newer construction. There is always been conversations with the Mullins of possibly, since I've been here, we've had a few different meetings and talks of doing a trail easement along Lingonberry. So that way we could connect Soldotna Creek Park and Swiftwater Park via some sort of walking trail. Yep. Yeah, there's been another conversation. This big green piece of property right in the center of your lower center of your screen. You know, that you can see the creek coming in, and there's been talk of maybe building a trail over there. It's a goofy piece of property. It's not our property. It's managed by DNR, and Ketchmack has basically from the red line to the right and up, and then DNR has the property along the river, starting right there. But it also has some similar restrictions on it. You know, there's no development. There is some language that says some recreation development like a trail, but no other development.
So is the Ketchamack Land Bank, is that no building on that either?
Correct. Yeah, they manage, it's a land trust.
Mhm.
So like most land trusts, you know, it's for the life for all of us, there's no development there, and they'll protect that piece of property.
If any of you have not gone down there, it's a really easy, Caitlin and I went down and it's absolutely beautiful. I was surprised that it was so easily attainable to get through the whole thing. You know, and it was a really nice walk.
Mhm.
So then you'd see it in the rough and then you could get a little bit of an update.
Mhm.
So, anybody?
On basically the property of Lucy's,
Mhm.
if you drive into Lucy's and look to your left, you'll see it. Or the River City books, sorry.
Yeah, you have to go up over.
I guess
the
there's two
line.
businesses.
Mhm. Are
Mhm.
there any other questions?
Yeah, that's kind of my update. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop on some projects that have been looming out there for a long time and slowly making some progress. The only one, I don't have photos or anything, but we've been at the dog park all week. I think we brought in 10 dump trucks full of fresh sand. So we removed all the old sand. Again, the dog park used to be originally probably a dumping ground party scene back in the 60s. And then at some point in time, it turned into a sand volleyball court park. That got overgrown. Connie, with her wands, turned it into a magical dog park. The sand had some remnants of glass that kept showing up every year like clockwork. So we decided, well, let's remove the sand and start over. So we took out probably 7 or 8 dump trucks and brought in, I think 9 or 10. It's the final count. We removed some of the stumps, not all of them. As you guys know, we removed, 150 trees in there the past couple of years. So the stump village was a little excessive. And so we did remove some. And then we brought in fresh gravel on all of the walking trails and actually added a little bit more of a walking loop, and opened up the area in front of the water feature. We opened up a little bit more, and we'll add a couple picnic tables in there, just to provide additional seating. That's a capital project that we've had on the books for a few years. So we've been kind of plugging away to reforest that park and make upgrades as needed. So definitely go check it out. we should be out of there tomorrow. They just want to do one last little inspection and then we'll unlock the gates and let everybody come back in and play. But I encourage you guys to go take a look at it. And if you have any more suggestions or ideas of cool things to make it better, we're open to all crazy ideas.
This might be an odd one. So I was in the lower 48 and there were some stumps at a park and the park had just supplied some buckets of chalk and the kids would go coloring on the stumps.
Mm.
And they just had plastic buckets of chalk that they
Yeah.
would just cover it back up and
Yeah.
the kids had a great time. The rain would wash it away and then
Mhm.
they just changed the artwork on it.
Yeah.
So just maybe that's a way to
Yeah.
color the stump
Yep. And we did,
or the forest.
yep. Connie's crew did put sort of tabletops on some of the stumps too. And so the dogs could jump up on top of them and play around too. So, but yeah. Yeah, finding away some more art in there would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun, especially if people bring their kids in there.
Mhm.
And were things added to the children's park on the other side, new ones?
Not,
They were just
not since we
moved?
redid that playground
Mhm.
like 6 years ago.
And there's still a connection from the dog park to the kids' park
There
in
is.
the back.
It's
kind of
not
still in the
great.
back. Yeah, it is it's a little dark in there, but I didn't go back in there. Everything was kind of
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. Mhm.
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 Yeah, I went over today and I was really impressed. I peeked through. I was gonna climb the fence, but I thought, don't do these things. But I thought about it. I didn't do it. At
Uh,
least that Joel knows.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's probably true.
Yeah.
That could be, yeah. Yeah, that might be.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, we're up to a lot of other things, but that's kind of the long, short version. And then we'll kind of keep you up to date on ice is going back in. We'll start putting in ice July 28th or 9th. It takes about 8 to 10 days, depending on how things go. So we will be skating again on August 6th.
Oh, wow.
So that makes it available for the competitive youth hockey teams to have their tryouts on 6, 7, and 8. And then we'll be kind of rolling into normal season. There's still talks of providing ice in July of next year. I think we're willing to give it a try at least once or twice. See how things go. Nothing's been like locked in. We're also waiting on a report, which we will probably have for the next meeting too. We did a pretty extensive report on our refrigeration system at the sports center. As you guys know, it's a 40-year-old building. Our system is also 40 years old, or most of the parts. The coolant that we use is an R22 Freon. They no longer produce it. So it's getting more and more expensive to purchase. So a lot of rinks are moving to different refrigeration systems, one being a CO2 system and one being a chlorine system. Anchorage and Fairbanks have both retrofitted their rinks, or not retrofitted, like you basically tear it all down and rebuild it. So we have a few examples in the state of other people doing it. And this report should be back any day, and it'll give us guidance on what we should do, when we should do it, what the potential cost would be. And then council will make a recommendation to council and get it on a capital project list. And probably, if I had to guess, it'd probably be within the next 3 to 5 years. We'll probably need to do something. That's my educated guess, but we'll wait for the report.
Yeah, now Homer doesn't have ice in the summer. They just have it very short and there's still the ice that's outside in Kenai.
They
But-
don't do summer ice.
No, not summer, just the
yeah.
winter ice. So nobody does summer ice on the peninsula and
Correct.
only 2 places do ice in the.
I think
no.
there's 2 in
Maybe.
Anchorage and 1 in the valley.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Correct. Yep. Yep. That's kind of what we're waiting on too is, you think about, you think about your heater system in the wintertime. When it's minus 20 degrees, that thing's working extra hard.
Mhm.
Well, think of it reverse. If it's 90 degrees outside and I've got my refrigerator going full blast, like it's going to have to work harder to keep my ice, at the right temperature. So that's going to make my system's life shorter because now I'm putting extra wear and tear on it. It could be that that's just normal wear and tear and it's not a big deal. There's a lot of rinks that operate year round. So it could be not as big of a deal. But I don't know. I just replaced my boiler at my house, so I know it's those systems aren't cheap.
No, they're really
And like the
expensive.
longer you can keep them alive, the better. But our system is in great shape. We rebuild our compressors every summer. We were just in there working on them last week to get ready. So we do take care of our stuff very, very well. Even people that came in to inspect were very impressed. They said it was some of the cleanest systems they've seen. Which is, it's good to know that we're doing our part.
So real quickly, if you had summer ice, you wouldn't be able to have those other things. Otherwise, you would have to put the ice in and take it out and put the ice in and take it out. Is that still at issue?
Well,
If-
in theory, next year the field house is open.
Oh,
So
okay.
all
That's
of
okay.
all of the other stuff is over there.
Okay, so it might be fine.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that's nice
Yep.
to know. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's
so-
why we didn't try to do summer ice this year. It's because we need the field house
Mhm.
so we can get some of these events and activities somewhere else before we attempt to do summer ice.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, thank you very much.
Mhm.
And I asked all my questions early, so I don't have much of a chair report. I do want to say that I've been extremely impressed with the attendance in Wednesday in the park. I haven't made it early enough to go to all the vendors. I've gone to the vendors, but some of them will be there and some leave at 3:30, a little bit early, and some don't, but it's been really fun and packed with people and a lot of, even in the rain, people were out there dancing and jumping up and down and it really seems like it's brought the community together and it's brought a lot of young kids out with their families and the kids are having a ball. I played soccer with a 3-year-old. He'd do it inside the beer set, I didn't even go and drink, but I just went inside and he kept on kicking it through and I'm thinking, I think really we're playing soccer here. I wonder who's winning. But it's just been really pretty joyful, seeing all the people there. So that's been nice. I actually really enjoyed taking a really quick trip over there today to the dog park. I got lost for a second. I thought it was on a totally different street and I went, Penny, it's not on a different street. But, and I'm impressed with the work. This really blew me away because I didn't even know all this work was happening over in the park. And so over in Centennial Park, and that restoration is so important over there with the traffic that's over there and with the beauty of that side of the river in certain areas. And so I think that's been really enjoyable as well. I'm really happy that the progress days and the River Forum, the Kenai Watershed Forum, are going to continue going forward with what they present too, because I've enjoyed going to some of those and, not really doing the bake off or anything like that when they do that cook off, but watching people, it's been really fun. And I think Nels introduced that, he and his wife years ago, Nels and Carla. So, I'm really impressed with our community. I have more people saying to me, oh, you're from Soldotna. I've heard wonderful things about that summer. And I said, well, you ought to drive down, even if it's just for the day and make sure you go home early enough, So that's really my report. And thank you, Mr. Todd and Miss Shelby, for what you do, putting all this work together. And I really appreciate it. So and hopefully there are no questions of me. But Mr. Chilson, would you like to give a report?
Sure. Thank you, Chair Vodla. So recent ongoings at City Council for our last couple meetings. At our June 26th meeting, we did pass an update to our FY 24-25 biennial budget. So City Soldotna operates on a budget cycle. It's every 2 years, but every year we still review it and make changes. And we just got that passed for FY 25. We also passed an ordinance basically authorizing city administration to continue to grow recruitment and retention programs to help keep staffing levels where we need them to be. So that is still to be determined what that's going to look like, but we're hoping here in the near future we'll see city administration come back some options that we can authorize as a council to incentivize not only new employees, but retaining the good ones that we have, because as we see at the Parks Department, they do great things. We need to keep the ones we have. We also had a laydown resolution, which provided $10,000 in funding for additional bike racks at Soldotna Creek Park. And speaking with Director Todd, he mentioned they're going to work on sourcing some of the additional like actual bike racks, but in the interim, they've already built out some temporary bars that are attached to all the wood posts there. I was just down there Wednesday and they look great. So it was really cool to see that happen that quickly. We also passed our 5-year capital improvement plan that basically outlines all of the large capital projects we're going to be targeting for the city for the next 5 years. There's quite a few things on that list. I can just highlight a couple of them that kind of pertain to parks. So at FY25 coming up, we have authorized Soldotna Creek Park stage improvements, phase 1 of improvements at Memorial Park. FY26, we have Karen Street Park upgrades, playground equipment for Soldotna Creek Park got deferred, I believe, until FY26. Trail improvements, FY27, and then Centennial Campground Road paving in FY28. And I believe those are the big ones. Additionally, in our July 10th meeting, we passed the capital budget for FY25. So that essentially provides the funding for the first year of that 5-year capital improvement plan. And then the other interesting thing that happened at Wednesday's meeting was we passed a joint resolution supporting Kenai's efforts to expand carrier service into Kenai Airport and hopefully get some direct flights out of there to Seattle. And that has a lot of economic potential for the whole peninsula and bringing people into the community. So we're very supportive of that as a city. That's all I have to report on. I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Are there any questions?
I'm sorry, I'd like to ask you a question.
Certainly.
There was a little bit of back noise when you were talking. The last item that you had discussed was a carrier.
Yes, that was joint resolution 2024-001. So basically what that is the city of Kenai is working to acquire grant funding that they are intending to use to essentially incentivize large airline carriers to come in and operate out of the Kenai airport and provide direct flights out of Kenai to Seattle. This isn't something that's going to happen quickly, but there's a pretty promising grant opportunity that Kenai is looking at, and they're actually getting all of the cities and the borough government to authorize this joint resolution that just says we, as all governments across the Kenai Peninsula, support this effort of the city of Kenai because it benefits everyone. And if we can establish that, that's going to ideally bring not only make travel easier for our community, but also bring people directly into the peninsula, and they can do things like enjoy our Wednesday market and explore all the parks and things that we have happening here. So it's very exciting. It's going to take time if it happens, but we're excited with that.
That's a huge for our community, for sure. Thank you.
Yep.
There's nobody here. There's nobody online, is there?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So I actually, and I know you need to go, Mr. Chilson. Oh, until 7. Okay, all right. So that brings us, since you already gave your council comments and there's no public online either, I'll start with board member comments. Who'd like to go first? Okay, thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to thank Joel and his team for all of the things that they put together for the city. We're very proud. I'm very proud to be a part of it, when I can be as much. And it's showing. I mean, when we have company, when our travelers come through, the first thing you want to do is take them to the parks and see what events are coming. So that's not something we always had. So we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. There's always something going on if you really want to go do something, which is great. And this is my 5th year of having my grandkids up from California, and they absolutely love Alaska. Marcel told me the other day he wants to move here. So it's important because, they can bike ride anywhere, they can go to a park and go play. It's awesome. So I appreciate all the hard work that you guys do and keep it up.
Thank you very much, Ms. Scott.
So mine was similar with the number of parks that we have. I had some family visiting and they were just really surprised every time we'd go someplace. My daughter's like, let's go to the park. Well, it was a different park every time because we have so many where other communities don't have a park hidden down this street or over here. And being able to actually use a park is important because when you go to a community that has only 1 or 2 or 3 parks, they're really congested and little kids can get ran off. Bigger kids, they have their own games. It's just it's nice to be able to take kids here locally to different areas and they can play and have a good time. So thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. And I've already spoken, but I'd like to thank Joel and Shelby and Kate McKaylen. I was going to call her Caitlin. McKaylen. They put all this stuff together. They organize it. They're prepared. I always really love going through the packet because I learn things that, Joel hasn't informed me about. But I wait to get the ideas when you do as well. So I really agree with both of you about the parks. People really enjoy them. When on the way over here tonight, I actually wished I had my granddaughter. There were about 15 kids in the park with, I think it was mothers and fathers, and they were in the little river view park. And it was just looked like a blast. Probably too much for Scotty, but yeah. So, but I think each park affords us a different opportunity and a different view and a different type of a park. So I really am looking forward to so many things. The hopefully when the sports center is all finished and some of these parkways and I'm just amazed at the connection that will be made in Soldotna Creek Park. That's going to be so fun for everybody. And the bike racks, we are actually moving and shaking and making a difference in the city. And I really see that more and more. So thank you for all you do. So is there anybody else? Would you like to make a comment, Mr. Todd?
Yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to bring something. So you guys all get day use passes to our parks, to our fee area parks, Centennial, Swiftwater, and Rotary. I didn't bring the passes with me. So if you call me, text me, email me, I will get you a pass if you want to just have it. You can just drive into any of our fee areas for free, for day use only, no camping. But it's a cool way to go down and check out Centennial Campground and kind of peek at it. So
We
Just-
can go to any of the parks, right? But that's the only one you really need to use that.
just the 3 parks are the 3 fee area parks, Rotary, Swiftwater, and Centennial are the ones you need that sticker.
Kind of related to that, is there one spot to check to see a listing of all the trail systems in the city or?
There is a trails map that we made 5 or 6 years ago. I thought it was on the website, but we just got a new website.
Okay.
So I will double check. It was a printed map that was at the visitor center and we had it too. And then there was a digital form and it included Solteshi, the refuge, the Unity Trail.
Yes.
It was kind of like Soldotna plus, and it had a lot of the walking paths and different trails. So I will try to find that.
Great, thank you.
It's really a nice map and I won't suggest this, but I'll bring it up. It's nice to go to all the parks. I mean, I know that's a lot to ask you guys to set up for us, so I don't know that that's a good idea, but you know, we could go as a group, some of us, and just take a walk to this one day or drive to it and then walk around it. And I don't know why I went to every park, but I did maybe, I don't know how long I've been on this board, but maybe 7 or so years ago. And I really enjoyed it. I think I did it in maybe 1 summer or 2 summers. And I think my family thought I was crazy, but it was really fun to do. So
You can get a job with us and you can go to every park every day. It's amazing.
can I climb trees? with
No.
My granddaughter?
No.
At your own risk.
Okay, so if we have no further business, the next regular meeting of the Soldotna Parks and Rec Advisory Board will be on September 5th, 2024 at 5:30 PM. You need to be there or be square. Thank you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said be square.
Mhm.